It's 2026 and the Africans still have the same problem that they had in 2025. It seems that they just don't understand that Black Americans have our own ethnicity. We part of the same racial group. Let's use the Asians as an example. You have Cambodians, Japanese, Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean. Are they the same? No. Ask any of them if they're all the same. They'll say no, but they're all Asian. Why is that so hard to put that context in to our group? We're all black, some are black, but we're all not the same. Even in Africa, village to village, no one is the same. They will tell you that. So, why is it a problem when a black American gets on this World Wide Web, tells you we're not the same? Why is that is taken as disrespect? It's very confusing because no other group to go through this except for us. Why is that's a question for you guys, not me. I know the answer already, but I want you to get those gears ticking and thinking to understand what I'm actually trying to say. Africans don't care about Caribbeans saying that they're not African. They don't care about the UK blacks saying that they're not African. They only care when black Americans say that they're not African. Why is it a problem? Especially when we come in peace. We come in peace. We say, hold on, we're not the same. We brothers and sisters and cousins and all of that, but we're not the same. We have our own ethnicity, our own culture. We speak English. We have our own customs, especially here in America. Why is that such a problem? You might say, what problem is this man speaking of? Go to my last two posts about this subject. 5 black women at MIT. Look at the comments. The Africans are going crazy, telling me that I look Zimbabwean, Ghanaian, that country. They don't even know what I look like. That's because I don't look like none of them. Black Americans have a distinctive look. So do some of us look really, really African? Yes. And we have people that are part of the Black American diaspora who damn near look white. And then we have people of every shade in between. That's because we have a diversity. Am I saying that black people are not African at all? No, I'm not one of those people. What I'm saying is I understand through this 500, 490 to 500 year period that we've been off the continent doing what we do best. We have a lot of different ethnicities and races mixed into our DNA, which gives us this look that we have. Some of us look like me, some of us look more on the African spectrum, and some of us are more to the white spectrum. It is. But last but not least, Africans are claiming that I want to be white. There is nothing about me that wants to be white. Stated that, I have never said anything of the sort. So Africans, I hope I spoke clearly so that you can understand that there is no hate and there's no debate. We are brothers and sisters, but we're not the same. We've been separated for a very, very long time. That's okay. Your ancestors won the battle. My ancestors won the war. Because at the end of the day, you guys are trying to get over here with me and my people.
Why are you not African? You're just only American?
Yeah, I'm American.
Okay, explain.
So my most recent descendants are literally from Central America and North America, indigenous Black Americans. They have the same color, the same melanin content, but they are not from Africa. I can't name any country in Africa. What I'm saying is that if I take a test right now, I could say some Italian, some German, some Australian up in there, 13% Ghanaian, 19% Nigerian, like who knows and who cares? But what I'm saying is that my immediate ancestors are American. Oh, yeah. Mine.
So are they Black?
They're Black, but they're not African. So different. The whole thing about African booty scratchers and even why Black Americans have been called African booty scratchers is because the white people have classified us all as coming from Africa because we're all Black. And that's where the whole like falsified information has come, where we all come from the Atlantic slave trade and all the Black people were just shipped here to this country and all over. That's not true. We were already here. Like we were already here lining up every part of the world.
But if what you're saying is true, then you are more Hispanic or Asian than you are black, because before the transatlantic slave trade, there was what they call Paleo Indian, which those individuals. No, and once again, you're misinformed, and that's I was about that's to. Nice. I'm not saying that's the only people that were here, but yeah, they have Paleo Indians, which the Aztec came from, which the what is it, Aztec, the Inca, those tribes came from what is called Asia to some extent. What I'm saying is that with the transatlantic slave, like Atlantic slave trade, like you've been like misinformed to think that there were only, what do you say, paleo, like white colored Indians essentially that were here. That's not true. There were black people here, or as people say, the Moors or whatever you want to call it. There were black people here indigenously, like they were across the whole world.
It is obviously true that not all blacks are of the same origin or descendants. Yeah? And I believe everybody knows that, right? Good. So everyone should know that it is not all blacks that are of the same origin. Yeah? Like, that is common knowledge, I believe. Yeah? So it is time to debunk the lies told us by the colonial masters. It is true that blacks have been in existence from time immemorial, like from the beginning. Blacks have been in existence because research has it that they are the first creation. You need to know that truth. Every other color came out from black. That is the truth I need you guys to know. Okay? But it is not all blacks that are of the same origin and the same descendants. The Black Americans have said it time and time and time again. We are Americans. We are not Africans. Of course, we have the black skin, we have the black, skin tone and all, but that doesn't make us Africans, does it? We are Americans. I think it's high time we respect that. Even the Africans are aware that though they are all black, well, not all, most Africans are blacks, but they are from different origins and descendants. That is common knowledge. Why is it so difficult to understand that? I'm wondering, really, why is it so difficult? Why are we making so much noise about this? You are African, I am American, period. Is that too difficult to accept? Anyways, welcome to my channel, guys. I don't want to rant too much today. Thank you for joining me on my channel. I want to give credit to all the original content I have used on my channel today. Credit belongs to you guys. Thank you so much. And if you're visiting or just scrolling through this channel today and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to get your support. I'd love you to like and share my videos. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go into the videos I have put together for you guys, and I'll come back with more commentaries. All right, don't go anywhere.
Zulu parade situation has made me start seeing that Black Americans should not be allowed to identify as African Americans if they're not willing to put in the work to uphold African dignity, African traditions, and African culture. Because honestly speaking, a lot of Black Americans actually don't care about Africa, right? Black Americans only associate with Africa when it's trending, right? When it's in fashion. That's what they do. They use Africa as a costume to make themselves look cool.
Everyone is finally being honest. Africans do not want black people in America to call themselves African American. They never did. They do not associate with you like that. They don't bang with you like that. I remember one time I was in an Uber and an African man, I can't remember what country he came from. He said, "Why do you allow them all to call y'all African American? You're not African." A man from the continent told me that. And ever since then, this was years ago, but even before that, I always identified, with my American roots. Like, I call myself melanin rich. I don't even really like the term black, but I understand it's a social construct. I get it. It's cultural. I get it. So this man is basically saying we don't deserve to call ourselves African American because we don't stand up for Africans. We don't help them. We're not building up the continent. And then he went into talking about the Zulu parade, and that took place in New Orleans. First of all, I don't think that they understand that there's like subsets of like different ethnicities within a Black American culture, because they don't understand that each state is like a country. Like people can't conceive of that. So what's going on in New Orleans has absolutely nothing to do with a black person in Harlem, has absolutely nothing to do with a black person in Inglewood. We literally are, we're the same. We have a commonality, but we have different, style. It's so beautiful to see. And they don't stop identifying yourself as African American. That's all I got to say. I mean, do what you want, but they clearly know who's who. They've always told you that you're not one of them. And I always pose the question, how many generations does it take for you to be from a certain place? For you to have roots in a place? If we want to go by the indoctrinated version of history, how long does your family, does your lineage have to reside in a country, a continent, to be from there? How long? Baby, you American. With melanin. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way.
Black American ancestors, the copper-colored indigenous Americans, did not come from Africa at all. They were the master architects who built the pyramids on both continents long before there were any African dynasties. Africa learned civilization from Black Americans, not the reverse. Black Americans are the descendants of the original master builders, the ancestors who created the most advanced ancient civilizations. Then they spread that knowledge globally. We are the original Moors of Temeri or Turtle Island. We are the ancient Egyptians. We are the mound builders of Mississippi. We are the Olmecs, the Mayans, and the Aztecs. This gets so deep, we're just getting started.
There are no cruise ships that go from America to Africa today, but they want us to believe that sailboats with no engines went all the way to Africa and back multiple times in the 1600s. You gotta be a fool to believe that. Black Americans are indigenous to this land. Navy ships don't even do that today. I want you to try to find a cruise going from America to Africa today. Let me know if you find one. They brought people halfway across the world to till land that they've never seen before. Why not get the people that were already here to till the land that they've been on for centuries? Doesn't that make more sense? Doesn't it make more sense to enslave the indigenous population? We don't come from Africa, never been there. If Black Americans were Africans, then Africans would be as influential as us. Africans have not had any influence on the world compared to us. We have created most of the world's inventions from black-skinned people. They're a whole continent of 54 countries and they cannot compete with us invention-wise. It's sad. Really let that sink in. We are only 13% of the American population, but we have created so many inventions. We have had such a heavy impact on the world. They are 54 countries, over 1 billion people, and they cannot compete with us culture-wise or invention-wise, or influence-wise, or fashion-wise, or lingo-wise. These people have to come to what we've built in order to get a leg up.
You know, my heart is truly saddened for the Black Americans who refuse to accept the truth that they are of African descent.
Here we go!
Y'all have created, I guess, a new race amongst yourself to make you feel better. You can run from the truth, but the truth will always be that everybody who considers themselves Black American are Africans.
No!
You are an African.
Girl, no!
And Black people choosing to wear ignorance as a badge of honor is the very thing that keeps Black people stuck.
Girl, my heart is truly saddened that we still have to continuously have this conversation time and time again. Black Americans are not African. We have not, if you want to say that we have a distant ancestor from Africa, we are so far removed that we literally are different. Let me show you. We've been through something called an ethnogenesis. And I also want to break down how many generations it takes for you to be genetically different. Let me show you something. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Ethnogenesis, the formation of a new ethnic group, isn't about a fixed number of generations, but depends heavily on social, cultural, and environmental factors, potentially taken as little as a single generation, a few years under intense pressure, like a shared enemy, catalyst, or longer, with some studies suggesting new identity can solidify with 3 to 4 generations with distinct cultural markers and, I don't know how to pronounce this word, endogamy, I don't know, varying within the group. It's more about a perfect storm of identity shift, not a genetic timeline. Now let's get to the next slide. How many generations does it take to not be related? You're never truly not related if you go back far enough, like a 1,000+ years, as everyone shares common ancestors. But genetically, after about 8 to 10 generations, 250 to 300 years, there's a high chance you'll share no DNA from many specific ancestors, with genetic contributions becoming diluted to almost nothing, making you practically unrelated in a genetic sense. For practical DNA testing, 9+ generations back, like the 8th great grandparents, often means you're considered genetically distant or unrelated. 8 to 10 generations to not be related. How many generations, if we just going by the indoctrinated version of history, because y'all love what the YT taught y'all. Y'all love it. So we just going to go by what the YT taught. How many generations have black people been in America according to the indoctrinated version of history that we learned? Black people have been in America for around 12 to 14 generations. For the majority of those who are descendants of the slave trade, the first documented enslaved African was arrived in the English colonies in 1619. Even, child, I'll be right back. Give me a second. It takes how many generations to not be related? 8 to 10? And how many generations have we been allegedly in the United States of America? 12 to 14 or something like that? We are not African. Even if you want to say that, if you want to believe the transatlantic slave, if you want to believe the straight out of Africa theory, which is a theory, which is a hypothesis, which is an idea, which is an educated guess. If you want to believe that, we are still no longer African people after 12 to 14 generations. And we're going to just say this. A lot of us were even here even before that. You all like to make jokes. And ma'am, you probably are African off the continent, from a continental African. You all, not all, like to make jokes and say that we're slave babies and we're grape babies and massa came and was graping. So clearly we have a little bit of everything going on inside of us genetically. Some of us have some European up in there. Some of us are just indigenous, Afro-indigenous, mixed with a little, some of us are mixed with the Siberian indigenous, Native American, not indigenous, sorry. Like, come on, bruv. We're not African people, and it's very disrespectful to continuously try to force us to identify as a group of people that we have nothing in common with except for the same hue of complexion. Culturally, we're not the same. Maybe share a little bit of similarities. Absolutely, we share similarities with everybody all over the world. We eat rice. They eat rice dishes. They got, what is it called? Paella, the rice dish in Latin America. Y'all don't go to anybody else and force and harass them to identify as African. Now, once again, look back at the video that I just did. Look at this video. Rewind it. Watch it as many times as you need to. Even if you want to go by the indoctrinated version of history, the average Black American with a long lineage here that doesn't have an immigrant background is not a continental African, baby. If I were to go over to Africa, I would need all types of jab shots, vaccinations, all types of stuff. I wouldn't be able to drink the water. The climate probably wouldn't be befitting to me. Genetically, I am different, and that is okay. Leave us the fuck alone. Y'all don't do this to anybody else. Y'all are not harassing Jamaicans. Y'all are not harassing Brazilians that has one of the largest Afro populations in the Americas. Y'all ain't harassing them people, telling them they African, telling them they don't know who they are. Us here in the United States of America, we could actually successfully trace our lineage back way more than the average continental African could. They lie and say we don't know our grandparents, we don't know our great. I grew up knowing my great grandmother. I went to see her every single year of my life in Glasscock County in Georgia. I was raised by my great grandmother in Brooklyn, New York. She was from Glasscock County, Georgia. Y'all get up here and tell these lies. It's nothing but projection. If you are African, be African. Stop forcing us. We're not. We've been here a lot of generations, even if you want to go by what the YT said. We are not continental Africans, and that's okay. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. If Johnny had 5 apples, bitch, it gets to a point, leave us alone.
So, I believe you watched every clip in this video, and I also believe your opinions are being formed if it hasn't been formed already. Yeah? Because I know that a lot of people know the truth already. So let us get it clear. One of the reasons I love the foundational Black Americans is because they know who they are and they stand on that truth. They are not easily swayed with people's opinions, and all of that, all the backlash from others. They know who they are. They know where they are from, trust me, and they stand on that truth. And that's one of the reasons I love them so much, because I wish everyone can be as strong and as firm as they are. Yeah? The truth is, they have discovered who they are a long time ago, not even a recent discovery. Yeah? My question is, can we not lump everybody up? Like, we're trying to lump everybody up, the blacks, the Americans, the Africans. We're just trying to lump everybody up. We're not the same. And that's all they've been trying to speak up. That's all they've been trying to say. We're not the same. We are totally different. Okay? We're not all the same, sincerely. There is Africa and there is America. Get that right. Even the word Africa was given by the colonial masters, trust me, but let's not get into that right now. That's not what we're talking about today. We'll talk about that some other time. So, let's go back to the discourse of today, okay? Fine. Some slaves were taken from Africa. True. But to say all Black Americans were from Africa is a big lie. You all know it's not true. And I hope you guys know that there were blacks in America even before the slave trade. Of course. But we have all been lied to, and they don't want us to know about that because, let's leave it at that. Yeah. There were blacks originally from America even before the slave trades. So why my question is, why force a race on the Black Americans? They have chosen what they are, they know who they are, and they have stated categorically that this is what we are, this is who we are. Can we please respect that? It's not difficult to do that, is it? Let's respect that. Let's stop being disrespectful. This is who they are. Let's respect that, okay? And let's also respect who we are. If you're an African, I respect you for that. If you're an American, I respect you for that. Can we stick to that and let peace reign? Come on. Let's peace reign. Let's live happy lives and stick to whatever we believe we are. That's it. Anyways, guys, I'd like to hear your views. I'd like to hear your opinions. I'll be reading your comments down below. Please drop your comment, drop your opinions. Let the discourse begin, okay? Let's talk. What do you think? And as always, before I leave today, I'd like to give credit to all the original content I have used on my channel today. Thank you so much, guys. If you're breezing through my channel today and you're seeing this lovely face for the very first time, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, hit the notification bell, okay? Thank you all for your support. Have an amazing day. I love you all. Bye.